Hi everyone. Thank you for having me here today. It's an honor to be among such professionals in the gaming industry. My name is Serkan Leke, and I am the founder of Leke Games. In 2022, I transformed my passion for the gaming industry into a vision by founding Leke Games. As a company, our mission is to develop original games to make significant impact in the both local and international markets. Considering the growing potential of the gaming industry, I made substantial investments in gaming field, and I will continue to do so. In Leke Games, we don't just want to make great games, we want to support others in the gaming industry as well. By sharing our knowledge, we hope to help the entire industry grow. I hope we make valuable contributions to ecosystem and witness even better days ahead. And our publishing manager Emre is here and with us. I will hand the floor over to him. Thank you once again. Thank you very much. Mikrofona selam veriyorum ben de. Okay.
Hello everyone, it's nice to meet you. It's a small room, like a classroom. It makes me feel like I'm in my 20s. I'm Emre Ünal.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
I'm Emre Ünal. I am working in Leke Games. And what I do is actually, I came back, when I started this industry, I started as a developer. I was a game developer, and then I created many games. Right now I am working as a publishing manager because I have worked with a lot of publishers. I know how to handle all the things, and that's what brings me here. We have a little video. If we can play it, it can be really nice. How can I get the help? If not, we can play it later too, after the presentation. Is there a click button on this? Yeah. This one?
Go forward and...
Okay. As you can see, the graphics is great. I also send the link. If you can open it, you can open that too.
You've got the demo too, so...
Yeah. You can also stop by the booth and play the game, by the way. Yeah. It's a simulation game. We know the racing category. We have been in love with the cars. All of our team members are. And that's what we do, actually. We are trying to create the best simulation game ever. That's our mission. Okay, if I can continue, let me try to continue on other things, if I can. I don't want to click all the buttons, not to break this one. Do you have an idea? Okay, okay. Perhaps you can close and open again. Yeah, it's about the screen, I guess. Yeah, there's also one sound. It is not coming from our video. This one is playing. Yeah, nice. This stuff always happens when you present. Can you run this time? Okay, let's continue. After the presentation, if you come by the booth, I can show the video. And here are our topics today. How is the global gaming market? Can small studios make AAA games? Because nowadays, making a game is becoming a lot more easier and harder at the same time. And what is the strategy to improve your games? And what is your game's secret ingredient? Different experiences from different games, which I really like to explore. And I can show you some examples, I hope. And I can give you some feedbacks, not to make some assumptions about your game for your metrics, and how game designers solve problems, what is live ops, and how you can improve it. Because right now we are working on the live ops, and it is a mess. It's really hard. Perhaps you can get something from our experience. And why is it so hard to make game design decisions? These will be the topics. Okay, let's go. Let's take a look at the global gaming market. Why people are making mobile games instead of making PC or console games? Because we have a lot of users. Before the pandemic, there were less users. With the pandemic, people were stuck inside their home. So they started searching for entertainment and they reach out to games because everyone has smartphones. Over 2 billion users are spending 150 billion per year, and that's much. When you check mobile, we have 6.92 billion smartphone users, which is a lot more users. And if you compare it with the PC and the console users, it's a lot more than the other ones. Because if you are playing on a mobile device, it is more achievable. But if you are playing on a PC, you need to buy it, you need to set up your accounts and buy the games, etc. But in mobile, you can still earn from in-app advertisement. So can indie studios make AAA games? This is the discussion people are talking about. If we check the first game ever, we can find out that one of them is Space Invaders. You know that thing going right and left only, firing all the time, and the aliens coming up to you? That's Tomohiro Nishikado, and he is one of the greatest minds, because if we are here today, it's because of him, actually, because he created the first game. It was an arcade machine. And right now, the competition is so high because people can make many more games. It is getting harder. However, if you can learn AI and the tools, it is becoming easier for one man to make a great game, or even small people. For example, you can gather 2 or 3 people and you can make a good quality game, such as a Ubisoft game. It is not a good crossover. However, you can still compete with them, I mean. Because if you can make the great art, you can make the great design, you just need to explore AI more. And of course, you need to know the basics of the game design and the development. However, it is easier for you to compete with them, with these tools. And the most powerful thing about the indie studios are actually gamers. They are not some dudes knowing how to make a game, and they know the best practices, but they are in love with games most of the case. And that's why they are becoming more professional. What we see for around 4 or 5 years, bigger games are turning into money-making machines. And that is what making the players most sad. Because they want to play the best action game as a Call of Duty player. But when you buy it and you play it, you will see that there are lots of microtransactions. And it's affecting the game. And they don't understand it. And let's go check how we can make these games in a 3-step. Making a game is similar to making a movie. what we call pre-production, production, and post-production. In the pre-production phase, you can find the idea, step back, take a look, see the whole picture, and then finding the pinpoints, the bottlenecks, and fixing them. Or planning how to fixing them, because what you plan is not going to work probably, but you need to achieve that goal of solving that problem. And you can also stick to a genre or a concept and try many things. You don't have to find the idea. You can just take a competitor and make it on your own, but make it good in some ways, instead of making the similar or exact game. It is a good mistake that you can do if you are in your early development cycle. And you need to define the scopes and the vision of the project, which is also in the planning phase. Then some people do the monetization phase earlier. It is depending on the development cycle and the project manager, how you want to handle things. If you want to put the monetization first, you need to ground up everything and build it on it. However, you can just put the mechanics and make it fun, then you can add the monetization. It's another way. It's actually, if you are good at monetization, taking the monetization as a base is a good way. But if you are good at making games, make the game, then add the monetization. Do not try to put both every time. You need to create a GDD, what we call is a game design document, because you need to be prepared for everything and you need to think it. What we do in our Leke Games, we think about a game and gather all the team. We put our Lego figures on the table and start playing the game before planning it. We try to make a clear vision for the team, because trying to show how character moves is a really good way to show them what you want to achieve. For example, you can find the references, you can find videos, you can just try to show them you want to move robotic. That's all you can do. And also the game mechanics, the audience, what is your budget, these are all about the planning phase. And when you come to the production, you just need to take that planning phase and put it on a timeline and create the story. If you want to build your game on a story, you can either make your game on a story, or you can, if you are working a big game, you can create the story of your company too, because it's another marketing strategy to sell your game. And you can also buy or build assets in order to create the environment. But for the planning phase, you should be able to put up some placeholders, just like we do in Lego figures. And you need to show everyone that you are making things on a clear page. And you need to set the rules of the world, because the stakeholders, the developers, the players, art teams, they need to know what they can do and what they cannot. Then you build the levels, test it, and all of the time you try to stick with the GDD. Anytime you pass the GDD, you just need to ask to the project manager or the product manager to fix things. By the way, it's like a small thing. You can ask any questions you have in your mind. We can just shoot ahead. And in the post-production phase, people always, in indie studios, always feel exhausted after the production phase. It is a really bad mistake. You need to be energetic in order to do things, because right now is the time you need to work most. You have already make the plan and build the game. Now it's time to sell it. How you are going to sell it? You need to figure out ways now. And if you are working with a community, I mean, if you are working as an indie developer and you are making a PC game, you should be just sharing some inside videos or talk with the community to grow some people interest in the game. If they have interest in the game, then you can realize you will get some feedbacks, some things you have not planned ahead. And you will realize you are, in that case, you are actually moving forward with the community. So you knew that if you finish this game, the community will already buy it. It's a good way to realize if the market cap is okay or not. And what you need to do is optimizing the store and listings. Right now, for mobile games, most of the case, the publishers are working on this side. But as a studio, you should have the energy to build your store, optimize things, create some ASO, and check your listings. And what we do in our experience is reading the data is really important. You should find new ways to create and collect some data from your users and find the pinpoints, find the bottlenecks, and try to fix them with the community again, or with the tests again and again. And what is the strategy? What you did in your game could be a runner game, could be a racing game, could be a fighting game, action game, anything. What is your strong points? Where do you feel most strong? For example, your team could be really good at art. Then you can figure out a way to show your art more instead of adding more mechanics in it. Or if you have a good development team, you can add many more mechanics and test them with the users. And where does your users join the game? I mean, where is the hook? Where did you get the users? For example, in a racing game, if you crash your car and see it just wobbling around, it is a good way to catch the user, because somehow people want to crash their cars, yeah? Because they cannot do it in real life. They want to try it in the game. So it's a good way to hook them. You can make some hooks just like this for your own game. For example, shooting a man and seeing that going in a ragdoll physics is a really good way to make people feel like they are shooting someone, because you cannot shoot someone in real. And if you do it in the game, people will feel it, and that's what you are trying to achieve actually. And don't forget that this is a really good example. A good author reads a lot of books, and they don't only read one type of genre. They are reading a lot of books, and that's what you should do. You should play a lot of games, because every time you play something, you will realize that they add new features, or they are doing something better than you, or you are doing something better than them. Then you will figure out new ways to create more creative things. And paying attention to a world around you is a really good advice too, because what I do actually, sometimes we go to parks with my wife and we do picnic. And somehow I find myself watching people. They are playing with their dogs, or they are having a meal. And sometimes my wife says, "Why are you just taking a look at people?" And I said, "I'm just observing things." Because when you observe things, you can, for example, we can create a game out of this room. We can sell the sitting places, chairs, and we can sell the projection, and we can make an idle game out of this room. And you can make a talking game out of this real-time experiment example. And instead of copying, take what works, but then make it unique. Just what I said earlier, pick something. If you are not good at making a creative team game, you can just get a good copy of one game and add something you are better. For example, you are a developer and you know how to handle mechanics. You can add more mechanics in one game you like. This is also a good way to improve your skills and sell your game. And paying attention to trends is also a good way to sell your game. However, when you pay attention to the trends, you should not forget that trends are like flies. They can come and go fast. You just need to realize if they work or not. For example, there was a series in China called Squid Games, and people take that idea and put that in their games. They make a lot of money, but it take around 3 months, then it was going down. You need to realize if it is going to stay long or not. And asking players is not very important for developers most of the case when I talk to the studios, but it's a must actually, because asking your users is the best way you can learn from them. But you don't have to ask open-ended questions. Do you like my game? You don't? Where did you like? Instead of that, you can ask something like, would you be willing to play if Mario would be much faster? So you can make another game. For example, you can make Celeste, or you can make Sonic. This is our publishing cycle. What I have explained to you in previously, we are making the game idea, the whole planning phase, pre-production. Then we are making the development in the production. And right after this, all of them is the post-production. So that's what I'm saying. All the thing is starting after the MVP. You need to market test, you need to create some ways to collect data, then you need to figure out how to read data, and then you need to go to the tests, you need to expand your areas if you are working on a specific geo. Then when you come to a point you are good in globally, you will be much happier than the previous games. And don't forget to realize what you are good at. You need to figure out if you are good at consulting, just consult, don't do games, don't make games. If you are good at live ops, find a way to use your skills in a game. Find a company or find a game that is already working and make the live ops better. So you will achieve faster. If you are good with trends, just keep watching the marketing side and be good at it. Let's give you some examples about how the game designers touch the games. For example, in Halo 3, which is a really great game, and there was an overpowered sniper rifle. And the Bungie team, who is the creator of Halo, did something before changing everything. They identified the levers which they can change or which they cannot. For example, you cannot change the range of a sniper rifle or the damage of a sniper rifle, because if you change them, it's not going to feel like a sniper rifle, right? So what you can do, you can change the shots per clip, decrease them, and change the reload speed, increase it, or time between shots. So it's going to feel like a sniper rifle again, but it will not make players only sniper rifle, because they wanted to show other guns too, and they wanted to create a community inside the game instead of just making a sniper game. And here's a really good example of Homa games. I just don't want to talk about all PC games and console games. That's why I added the mobile game. This is one game from Homa Games, and they did a lot of CPI testings. And they wanted to find out how they can decrease the CPIs. And how you can do that is actually reading the psychology of the users. They tried making a... do you know the game, by the way? Life Bubble. It's a game where the astronaut is walking around. There's a field where you can breathe and field where you cannot. If you go out, you die because you don't have the capacity. But they did something different in the creative. First, they put the circle in a specific place and make the character movable around. Then in the CPIs, they changed it where the breathable area is around the astronaut moving with you. And when they changed it, they realized that if you are moving next to a tree, it is becoming too live. That's why they added it and seen around 40% CPI decrease, and it's a huge amount. You need to try many things in order to realize that this is going to work. But in the marketing phase or the testing phase, what you should do is test things, see that is working, that is not, and then change it. And in the most cases, studios are making assumptions. Some of our studios coming to us and they're saying, this is the greatest game because we have done it. But what have you done it? Have you checked it? Do not make assumptions. They're making assumptions like we are making the best idle arcade game because this team is working. But you cannot check it without data. You need to have the data. These are some of the examples that are similar to mistakes. If you are making a design for yourself and you are ignoring the audience, this is a novice mistake. You should not be doing this. Most of the case, the new game developers, game designer studios are making this mistake. And not considering the data, if you are a studio and you have the publisher, that's okay. They will just give you the feedbacks and you will do it. But if you are publishing on your own or trying to learn more and publish by yourself in future, you need to learn how to read the data. Balancing issues is more inside of the game design tricks. For example, there are many game design decisions and many game design chapters inside the game. For example, if you are working on a game balance, it could be monetization, or it could be the damage and the health issues, etc. So you should be able to understand and see your game clearly on a graphic to balance things. You should be able to understand, for example, one car, how much you can sell one car and how much you can sell one tree, for example. And micro-scaling issues is also about the marketing side, because there's not one way to publish your game. You can publish your game in many ways. For example, if you go to big publishers right now, they might reject you because your metrics are not good. But if you check it again, and you can see that there's a really clear revenue inside your game. In that case, you should be able to understand the market capabilities, and there are much ways to scale your game. Instead of making hit or millions, you can still make some money, 100K, 200K, 500K, depends on your game and how you want it. And this is the worst example, because incorrectly processing information is actually about reading the data. If you are not reading the data clearly, you are making a mistake, and it's a huge mistake, because all your branch is going to be shifted and you will do the wrong thing instead of making the right. And how game designers solve problems. Binkowski is a really good designer, which I follow. He's the lead designer of Dying Light. He's suggesting that designers step back and figure out the root cause of the problem before trying to solve the issue. This is a really good example, because when we talk with the studios and, for example, they say our users are churning in the first 3 minutes because we are doing the same thing. But when you step back and take a look at the game, if you realize that the game mechanics is not working actually, this is also the root problem of the game. Then you should be focusing on to fix that, instead of just trying to add new features to block the churn. For example, to do that, you need to test the first thing coming to your mind and learn from it. You can have some gut feelings about how it will turn out, but it might not be true. So you just need to see it and then realize what you can do. These are most of the cases are questions which we ask ourselves or inside the company to each other, why players churn, to get different ideas and try to figure out and try to see the whole picture. And what is live ops? Live ops is after you launch your game, you're going to need to, you are making the game, then making the optimizations on the store, then you're publishing it. Right now, you need to figure out how you can make it more profitable. So you will need live ops. For example, in some of our games, we can, for example, some of our users likes to watch videos and some of our users don't. We show them more videos, and the other one we show them less videos. In order to realize that, you need to figure out a way to find out which users can play more. In order to expand your revenue, you need to create a good way for reading the data of your users and create a segmentation for the users. If you can do that, you can make revenues out of day one retention 20. For example, in the Fortnite, they are frequently adding new skills, events, map updates. They just want to keep the game live, and people really keeps coming back to the game because of the updates, because they have a really good live ops. They can just send someone inside the game right when you are playing they are sending a boss to everyone and changing whole the game at the same time. And people are just playing it, recording it, and sharing it. It is also helping them on the marketing side. And why is it so hard to make game design decisions? Because you're a game designer and you have been watching the whole picture. Right now you need to explain why you should do things to your team. Because sometimes the developers or the artists would not be on the same page with you. So you need to figure out some ways how you can convince them to do things. It is really hard to make game decisions because of that. You should have some gut feelings, but you must stick with the data. Gut feelings is around 20-30% right. If you read the data and read it correctly, it's going to be much more easier for you to explain and make iterations on your game. That's all. Thanks for listening. We couldn't show you the video, but if you have time, please come by our booth. I can show you the video and you can play the game. Thanks a lot for listening. Thank you.